Welcome, podcast listeners. It is episode number 283 of the Fret Talk podcast. You are joined by your host, Mr. BudgetPedalChap. That is me. Sounded a little bit gruff this week, sounded a little bit sexy, a little bit Phoebe, smelly cat, sexy voice this week. Maybe towards the end I'll do a bit of sultry, smelly cat, but for now.
What the hell are they feeding you?
As you can hear, there's one Mr. Matt Quine having a little giggle over there. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, and here's Mr. Oh my gosh, it's Josh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Welcome, boys. Hello. How are you all?
Doing very well. How are you?
That worked out well. Oh, brilliant. Right, gentlemen, what have we been up to this week? Who wants to go? Josh, can you kick us off? Can you give us a little start this week? Because you've been doing a little bit of a prep for what might be a pretty big announcement vis-a-vis the Quad Cortex.
Yeah, so I had a email today, being a Thursday, that everything all to do with the Quad Cortex and the Quad Cortex Cloud is going to be down, and the app's not going to be responding, as they say, because they are preparing for the imminent release of Core OS 2.0. So it's going to be kind of like the next big update.
Yeah.
And this is one that I'm looking forward to, if what I am assuming is going to happen.
So there's no official at the moment, is there?
Yeah, there's no official, but there's obviously a lot of speculation with it at the moment.
What are the hot tips at the moment? What are they saying? What's
the big one is the integration of the plugins.
Okay.
So if you've got any of the neural plugins like Archetype Nolly or Gajira or anything like that, that you can import any of the presets that come on the plugins into the Quad Cortex, because everything that obviously is on the plugins
they're all kind of
on
separate,
the unit.
Separate islands within a kind of ecosystem. Now you're kind of bridging between them, and it's becoming a massive network.
You've got a very specific setting on like Archetype Beer, for example, or Nolly or the Soldano or anything like that, or the Tone King. You can directly import that into the Quad Cortex, which I think is going to be really good, because I still use a lot of the plugins from when I was doing some album tracking and bits and pieces like that, and it's like, oh yeah, I like these sounds. So I'm looking forward to that. Nice. And kind of on the back of that, what is rumoured to be coming is a desktop editor, a standalone desktop editor.
Does it not have a desktop editor?
Not at the moment, no.
Fuck. That is mental.
So, not like, Helix Native or like the Kemper has like a desktop editor and then you can import them.
Helix Native is a completely different thing. There's HX Edit, which allows you. It basically works as like a mirror for your screen almost, but like a bigger version, and it gives you a lot more of the options available at one given point.
To be fair, it's not necessarily difficult to edit on the Quad Cortex anyway, because as the screen's so big and the dials are so easy anyway. But to be able to then kind of just fire up an app on the on the MacBook or whatever you're using and just quickly kind of throw something together on there, it's going to be really quite useful.
That'd be really good.
And I'm hoping, now this is what I personally am waiting for, is the mono synth off the Archetype Rabea. I'm really hoping that gets integrated, because the last time they kind of did something like this was after the Tim Henson one. And that had like the multi-voicer, which does like differently modulated pitch effects.
Okay,
So if they bring out the mono synth, that's going to be so much fun.
Yes. So is this something that's going to be?
I will lose myself if that comes out. Obviously, I'll be doing a video for Pedalboards of Doom as soon as it comes out and going through a deep dive with anything. But yeah, if the not monosynth comes out, I will probably need to have like a 20-minute video of just playing around with this because I love it.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Right. Yeah, so you've not been up to a hell of a lot more this week because you've been a poorly boy, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had the fluey blurgy that's kind of been going round. I spent the weekend at my missus and then come back home on Monday, and then all of a sudden I felt like death.
Mate, I like last week on the podcast, I was like, yeah, I'm starting to feel better from this now. And then towards the arse end of last week, completely just went downhill. So I feel you. It's one of these that has just been so hard to shake.
It's been a rough week.
You can hear it on me still. Like I've had some pretty rough nights sleep this week, which is why we're podcasting a little bit later this week, isn't it?
Ish, yeah.
Matt.
Hello.
You recently bought a guitar, didn't you?
I did, and we talked about the new guitar last week.
Indeed.
What I had only done last week was play it through headphones.
Okay.
Which doesn't. I mean, I know I'm going completely in contrast to what Josh just said because he's talking about digital modeler with his quad cortex, but his is a fancy kind of £1 million quad cortex thingy, whereas I've got the simplifier, which is good, but it's not as good as a valve amp turned up at practice volumes. And I managed to do that last night. I managed to do a practice. That band we worked out hadn't played together for like 5.5 months. We just had like a massive kind of bit of time off. There's been a new kid in the band. There's been some other mitigating circumstances. So we just put everything on hiatus at the end of last year, and we're getting back together, getting ready to go for 2023. Nice. And just, I managed to turn the Strat up loud, and I managed to play some of the, like, we were basically just getting together, having a jam, seeing what songs we remembered.
Yeah.
And it went better than we all expected. So
nice.
We all kind of like remembered more than we thought we were going to, which is good. And then like we were like, is there anything else we want to go over? And I was just like, well, let's do Red House. Just because I know we don't need to, like, I know all of us know how to play 12 bar, but like, I just want to crank this up. So I did. So like, I just put it through its paces, and it just plays really, 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 really well and sounds just incredible. Like, it just...
Did it give you the tingle?
It gave everybody, like, the bass player was like, it's much better than the Mexican Strat that you had, and it just feels so good. It just, moving across the neck just feels a bit easier, which I guess is just because you're in the zone a bit more, and just the sound, and like, normally I don't really touch controls whilst I'm playing the guitar, or like I'll switch between like pickups and stuff, but like I was messing with the tone control, messing with the volume control. I was just kind of like completely in the zone, looking for that kind of like light and shade between different phrases and different like, because we basically do verse solo, verse solo, and then a big kind of climactic end exit. And I was just like, let's have a different tone for each of the kind of solo-y bits.
Yeah.
And just
I'm
obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it. Like, I used to do like pick the Strat up for like 4 songs because they absolutely had to have a Strat, whereas I'm pretty sure now it's going to be like 50-50 between the Les Paul and the Strat.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to have to change the way we do the set list slightly, because I don't want to just pick up and put down and pick up and put down and pick up and put down. But like, if I can get it to a point where, like, you know, there's like 6 Strat songs in a row, then 6 Les Pauls, that's okay.
Yeah. To minimise the switchovers. I mean, it's all good and well if you've got a tech who can just hand you your guitar. But
I mean, if we had a tech, I wouldn't set up or break down. Yeah, have to do that.
Yeah. The joys of being in a slightly smaller outfit is that you work the sets around guitar changes and try and minimise that kind of fuss. Yeah, I feel you with that. Nice. I've done a little bit this week. I've done a little bit. I say I've done a little bit. I've done shitloads since last episode. What have I got? I released a video on Pedalboards of Doom and on my channel, which are based around the same pedal, which is the K-Line Green Mamba Overdrive, which you would pretty much expect it to be Tube Screamer territory because it is a green overdrive pedal. That's true and not true, kind of. I mean, it's Tube Screamer territory,
Inspired.
but it's not true Tube Screamer because it's a little bit brighter. It's kind of somewhere between a Tube Screamer and an SD one. I would kind of peg it.
It's like a Tube Screamer, but a bit pokier.
Yeah, and it's a good one. It's a really decent kind of take on an overdrive pedal. The video that I did for Pedalboards of Doom was a basics how-to guide on how to use overdrive, which seems a little bit strange, but actually it outlines some of the uses for an overdrive that's like even some kind of seasoned players might not necessarily know what it's about, and it gave sound examples for each of them. So it's worth checking out. It's only a 4-minute video as well, so definitely give it a check out if you want to see if you're using your overdrive pedal correctly, or if you've got
also can test with the pedal that we're talking about. Is I paired it with another pedal from the same line, and they go together so well.
Which pedal was this? Sorry,
this was the Tiger's Eye Distortion.
I've had a few people asking about that actually on my channel. Specifically, they've been asking, "Oh, have you got the Tiger's Eye and what's it sound like?" So I've given a few responses. I've told them to check out your video as well. But very shortly, I imagine that I'll probably be getting around to doing the Tiger's Eye myself.
Yeah, they're surprisingly good pedals.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying this to Lee the other day. Actually, I've been like really pleasantly surprised with the G series. They are all. I mean, they may not necessarily be lighting the world on fire because they're not that kind of pedal. They're not like really expensive and like pushing the boundaries kind of pedals. But if you're after like a solid example of a reverb or a solid example of a vibrato or a overdrive or whatever, these ones are dialed in really, really well. They're dialed in where like the majority of the sweep on the controls are usable. You'll get tones that you can use. And like it's only right at the end where it becomes those like really wacky extreme sounds. Especially with the modulations. But like the majority of the sweep is a really usable tone, so it's really easy to dial in something that sounds good. And I think they've really nailed it with those pedals.
I think where else they've really nailed it is when it comes to kind of the budget aspect of it, because they're the right size. They're bigger than the mini sort of style pedals.
Yeah,
but they're smaller than a normal size, like Boss or TC Electronic or whatever. But the build quality is the same, I think, as of a larger pedal. Like so, again, like a Boss or a TC. It really holds itself well.
Yeah, they're really solid, aren't they? And they're mentioning the mini pedals. Actually, they're wider. They're a wider base, so they're less likely to kind of tip over, which you can get with the mini pedals. And yeah, like they sit in a quite nice price point. They're a little bit more than your standard kind of cheap Chinese mini pedal, but they're definitely not up to that like £100 mark.
I think they're about £60 to £80, something like that.
Well, it depends with the range. You've got some that are going down as little as 30 and 40, but then you've got the reverb. I think is the big one, and that's about 70 quid, I think. But yeah, it's like they sit at a really nice price point as well. Like especially if you're after like a just solid example of that pedal, but you're not necessarily looking for like weird and wacky sounds. They're like a really great option.
Spoiler alert, the reverb is my favourite out of the whole line.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember you saying that actually, yeah. So far, I don't want to be an absolute basic bitch and go the overdrive. The overdrive really has impressed me though. I like the compressor, the Python, because it's got it's got a grit control and it's got a mix as well, hasn't it? Which is just brilliant. So it's quite a dialable compressor. But like all of these things will be coming up on the Budget Pedal Chap channel. Like in due time. I'm trying to do 2 a week at the moment so that I'm releasing like getting those K-line pedals out because we've had them for quite a while now. So I'm trying to kind of get them all out there just so that the entire lineup is out and done. So I did that. And I think that's pretty much it. We've got quite a few things to do this week. And one of which is a little bit of sad news, is that just as pretty much as we were recording the podcast last week, we heard news of a passing of a bit of a guitar legend. So we thought it was definitely worth mentioning on this podcast, even though by this point it's a little bit older news and like people have started taking the piss. Oh, I didn't know that you were a fan before this point, kind of lark. But it's definitely worth paying our tributes to the chap, Mr. Jeff Beck. He passed away last week, and it was a strange passing as well. When it was like
it's very sudden,
bacterial meningitis or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
which like fuck, man. But we'll pay a bit of tribute to our Jeff. Jeff is an artist that I didn't necessarily get into much of his stuff, but I've heard like a few of the staples, like when we ended as lovers and stuff like that, kind of bandied around the internet of people just going, you've got to check out this guitarist, even if you're not necessarily into the music, just for the sheer mastery of the instrument that he has got. Because that's pretty much the hallmark of Jeff's playing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was just on it, absolutely on it. Where I think my takeaway with him was, you'd have a lot of musicians that would, you could say being very technical and bits and pieces like that, but Beck was kind of bare bones. He was showy off at times, but you could tell he listened to what he was playing.
Yeah, there was a real kind of musicality, weren't there?
Yeah, and, rather than it kind of being shred for shred's sake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was a master of the whammy bar as well, weren't he? He used that to kind of emulate kind of slide guitar licks a lot of the time, and it sounded really fluid.
Yeah, he was kind of the person that kind of brought that out of just. He's the only guitarist, really, when I think of a tremolo arm, that doesn't use Pew!
Yeah, like ridiculous use of a tremolo.
Like he actually uses it in a tasteful way. I mean, I suppose Hendrix used it a little bit in a functional way that was.
He also used it in a fuck you and your tuning way.
He did, but there's a couple of songs where he uses like a light bit of, but like I was watching some Jeff Beck stuff again. Like you, I'm not particularly like a massive fan of Jeff Beck. I just appreciate every time I hear him play the guitar. I just appreciate it and go, "Fucking hell, he's a bit good, isn't he?"
Yeah,
but yeah,
every time I heard him, it was a case of I should listen to him more. This is really good.
Yeah, and his use of the tremor on a Strat is really, really different to anybody else that I've ever really seen, which is weird because you think people would try and emulate it because it sounds really good.
Yeah,
but I wonder if it's just because he's so good at it, nobody else thought it was
it's really fucking hard. But it was all that kind of manipulation of the controls of the guitar as well, and it was constantly changing, like the volume settings and the pickups and the tone control, and then using it all to get in the exact space he wanted to be to make that note sound the way that he wanted.
Yeah, and he's one of those guitarists, like I say, I haven't listened to that much, but he's always at any kind of like big event or big festival, like he's always playing like invited along by Clapton or invited along by Santana, or he's playing in like a hybrid band for so and so's 40th birthday shenanigans or whatever. Yeah, he's like always one of the guys who's just there. He just seemed to be. Everybody in the community seemed to be friends with him. And he just seemed like quite a down-to-earth guy. And he's one of the few people from that era that doesn't really have too much, let's say, adverse media surrounding him.
Yes, the whole U tree. A lot. Yeah, he's avoided a lot of that, hasn't he? And hopefully it's down to the fact that he weren't one of those kind of creeps.
Yeah, maybe he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
You like you say, you never ever like heard anybody have a bad story about him. There's numerous guitar and music personalities out there that you hear bad stories about them, or bits and pieces like that. But yeah, with Beck, you never heard anything bad.
No, it was always him. It was always just how much of a legend he was, and how his playing was just next level. So yeah, I think we extend those sympathies out, and just we invite you listeners as well. Just share your stories of like what your thoughts are on Jeff Beck as well. I know it's kind of by this point it's old news, but like share it, let us know, and we'll pay our respects communally in the Fret Talk group, which at the moment is really bustling, isn't it? There's quite a lot of action going on in the Fret Talk group.
Yeah, it's picked up for sure.
Indeed. Right. So we've got a hot take to do. We've got a hot take from last week to round up.
Matt's not happy about this.
So last week's hot take was you don't need a compressor on your pedal board, but 73% said I like it squishy. So that is pro compressor. Funnily, 26% says compressors are for nerds, which, if my maths is correct, does not 100% make. Maybe 1%.
Where did the rest go?
Does not 100% make. Where did you learn English?
From Yoda. But we've got a hot take for this week. So, like, officially, you can put a compressor on your pedal board. It's allowed. Matt has been overruled on this one, but we've got another one for this week. This is by one of our long-time listeners, Mr. John Boy, and this is a hot take that second-hand guitar market is currently overpriced, but the bubble is gonna burst. What say you, gentlemen? What say you?
I feel like we should probably, like, Matt might take a little bit longer to talk about the mine, so I'm going to start, Matt.
I mean, I understand that I nearly called it the hot take market then, and that's not what it's called. It's called the second hand
Hot
market.
take market.
I mean, the hot take market is bustling.
The second hand market is a lot more expensive than it was, say, 2 years ago. However, so is a loaf of bread and a pint of milk, because inflation is a thing. And if you look at the cost of, say, an American Standard or whatever they're called now, I know they're not called American Standards, but if you look at the price of an American-made Stratocaster in 2017 and you look at the price of them in 2023, they've gone up 400 or 500 quid.
Yeah.
Which means on the second-hand market, they've gone up 300 quid. And that's just the way the second-hand market is always going to be influenced by the first-hand market, the shop prices, the RRPs of these guitars, and they're never going to go down. Even if the raw materials price comes back down, just like you're seeing with oil and gas, the companies who make the guitars are going to go, great, our profit margin's gone up. People were still buying the guitars, so what's the point in dropping the prices on them? They're never coming down. You might get like 100 quid off, or you might get them in the sales, but the price of an American Strat, or the American Professional, or whatever they're called, or the Performer, they're not ever coming back down again. They're set now. That's the RRP, and there's only one way that RRP is going, which means the second-hand market, unless you're like looking for cheap Chinese pedals that cost 30 quid now, that might still cost 30 quid in 10 years' time, because companies will be able to eat the costs for keeping those relatively cheap on the primary market. Everything else is going to go up. You're going to see Squier guitars getting more expensive, I would say. You're going to see Epiphones costing £1,000 being more and more of a normal thing. You're going to see Mexican Strats getting to £1,000 and that being more and more normalised. So the second-hand market's just going to follow that, because pretty much everybody I know who buys a guitar new and wants to sell it second-hand will go, about 2/3 value is probably what I can get for it. And that's just how the pricing is kind of done. So, my Nick Johnston is a prime example. It was probably bought when the guitars were 799 quid.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 3 years old. But they're £1,000 now. So I got it for, $599 plus shipping. And to me, that's a good deal, because that's 400 quid off a £1,000 guitar, which is more than a third off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird because... again, it's kind of along the same principle of what Matt's saying, but I had an incident with it with one of my RZKs. I saw one was going for on sale on, I think it was on Reverb, a second hand. Now, I bought both of mine second hand, and they were still, quite costly, near the $3,000 mark. But someone was selling it for over the price of what it costs to buy it brand new. And I was like, these are $3,000 brand new. And it's like, oh yeah, but everything's going up in price, so I can charge it. And it's just like, no, it doesn't quite work that way.
Okay.
Just because other people, the whole market is going a bit mad doesn't mean that you can justify putting a guitar for more than second hand, more than you can get it brand new.
Yeah, there's very, very, very few situations where that is a thing, isn't there? Like if it's a specific collector's version, the new version isn't the same. Like the John Mayer Strats is a perfect example, isn't it? Like they don't do them anymore, but they're going for more than they were worth new.
Yeah, because it's John Mayer.
Yeah, and it was that exclusive limited run, and they don't do them anymore. And
I think there's one on Rich Tone Music currently.
Okay.
One of the number one Strats, and I think it's a second hand one. And I think when I looked at it, it was $13,000.
Shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, but there's no if a normal model is out there, you're never ever going to get anywhere near retail, because why would you pay? Why would you pay even 120 quid less, but not be covered by sort of any kind of like warranty, or not have the option to, you know what, I don't like this guitar, so I can send it back and it won't cost me anything apart from the postage to send it back. Like, there's so many things in place if you buy a guitar new, that it needs to be a good deal for you to buy it secondhand and not have any of those things. And also, if you're buying online secondhand, you've got the risk of, is this person actually going to try and scam me out of my money? Do I have to use PayPal? Do I have to use like bank details? Do I have to, you know, all of these other things? So
Yeah.
realistically, unless you're buying cash in hand off somebody, and you know, you definitely want to have a decent amount off, just so you can be absolutely sure that, you know, you're covered in a way.
Oh yeah. You want that that recourse, don't
Buyer's
you?
protection.
Yeah, and you don't get that buying privately. I mean, you see it in car sales all of the time, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
a used car from a dealership will cost an extra like 20% on top of a private listing, because you're getting that like that guarantee almost from a dealership, whereas you're buying sightseeing with your motor.
The biggest part as well is that there's always somebody that stupidly, there's always going to be somebody that's going to pay it. I had somebody message me last night. Funny enough, he found one of the LTD RZKs for sale on. It was like I don't know, a Reverb in Germany or something like that. And he's like, "Can you check it? Is it legit? Blah 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 blah." He said, because it looks different. So I was like, I had a look, and the guy had sanded it and refinished the pick guard and refinished the headstock, the back of it, and it was a decent job. It was a decent job on it, to be fair. But I said to the guy, so how much is he asking? And he said €1,000. I said, no chance. I said, the whole people wanting these guitars is because of the way they looked.
Yeah.
It's the unique thing about them. You know, the not many people are going to buy it unless you're a Rammstein fan and you want it because of that image. He's completely changed how it looks now. And I said, it's no longer worth that value, even if it is rare, because you've modded it to something that you want, not what everybody else wants as well. And I think that kind of plays into it a lot as well.
I mean, while we're here, we might as well do that, the debate of like modded instruments, where people like put like 300 quid pickups in a Squire Strat and then go, yeah, this is a 500 quid guitar. Like,
wrong.
No, what you've got there is at best 150 quid's worth of Squire and a lot of wasted money. You might as well take it apart.
Yeah, take it apart and it'll be worth more.
Yeah, that isn't it? It's it's worth more as part than it is in its current state. I've seen more and more of those recently, where people are going, well, I've put these modifications into it. It definitely deserves that value because of this kind of strong buyers market, strong sellers market at the moment. I don't know where I'll sit on the side of the fence. I think there's kind of truth behind it, behind both sides. The companies like Thomann, though, where they are releasing guitars that are comparable to those budget end instruments, but doing it for, I mean, they've got guitars that are less than £100 at the moment. And I'm not saying that they're going to be particularly fantastic, but they're going to be playable, because the Thomann stuff always is. So I think that kind of tethers the lower end of the market, like the bottom end of the Squire stuff, to a certain price point. Because if they start veering away too far from that, then they lose that market. So I think thanks to companies like Timon and thanks to companies like, I don't know, like who else are doing that kind of low end, like Earth guitars and Jet guitars and stuff like that, who are doing these lower priced, pretty decent spec guitars. They're kind of anchoring that end of the market, so you're not getting that huge inflation where Epiphones will start creeping up, like comfortably beyond the grand mark, and so on and so forth. But is it going to come down? I think is the question, because it's saying the bubble is going to burst. That is part of the hot take. Oh. Unless something dramatically changes, there's nothing that's forcing that to happen, is there? Especially,
I mean, like, economic collapse is the only thing that's going to bring down the price of the second-hand market, and I don't think the British public are of a mind that they want to try and ruin the entire economy to get rid of the Tories when they won't do anything about it, and they haven't done it for the last 13 years. Why would it change? So,
I mean, if someone did
unless
it,
there's riots in the streets and we kill off all of the sitting politicians and start again from scratch, nothing's going to change.
Do that.
Shit's got dark real quick.
It's all in your hands. I don't live on that piece of land.
No,
I'm not governed by that party, but like, yeah, like society needs, basically capitalism means no. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, that kind of inflation. I mean, if we talk about it in the microcosm of the guitar world, I think it's very true in what you're saying is that we're not going to see a decrease in the price of the new guitars. We're not going to see companies that are charging 700-800 quid for something that was 400 quid a couple of years ago and go, we should probably go back to that price. Of course they're going to go. Like, if people are buying the £700 version of that £400 guitar, they're going to sell it for 700. That's just that's business, and the business is working. It's only when people stop buying it. But then that again strengthens the seller's market, because there's less used guitars kind of floating about. Yeah, the scarcity of them drives up the price of the used ones. So I don't know. It's tough to say.
It'll be an interesting one to see how it pans out in the group.
It is, yeah, it will be. I will choose some purposefully obtuse ways of.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Indeed. Right. What have we got going on? We've got some news. We definitely got some news. We're talking about Fender. Speak of the devil. Fender have released I think it's a Japanese run, isn't it? This
are they Japanese? Are they? I didn't know.
I believe so. They are gold foil laden guitars. So they've done 3. I say 3. I'm being generous. They've done 2.5 guitars with these gold foil pickups. We've got a dual pickup Telecaster. So they're kind of like mini humbucker gold foils, aren't they? So they've got these HH Tele. We've got an HHH Jazzmaster. And then we have got a single gold foil pickup jazz bass as well, which I've got to say looks the absolute tits. It's like that like two-tone burst with like the cream, like the off-white creamy guard. Oh my God, that is... It just is, but it's a bass, so we're not going to talk about it.
If it's gold leaf pickups, can you just take them out and take them to your local jewellers and cash them in for more money than they're probably worth because they've got gold?
Unfortunately not. No, gold foil pickups are they were historically very, very cheap pickups. They were the ones that were kind of used in the import guitars, like the kind of European import guitars. And because the parts were sourced so cheaply, they often used magnets that were really similar to fridge magnets, basically. So they're like really low output and really bad, basically like not audio grade magnets. I don't think Fender will have recreated them that accurately, because people will try these guitars and then go, "What is this shit? Why is it picking up Spanish radio stations?"
I don't know. You went to go and play guitar, and I didn't press the button that goes.
I mean, if that's what you think the Spanish radio stations do the entire time, my gosh.
I mean, it's casual racism.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah. But yeah, so they've got to look, haven't they? They've got to look, these guitars. What are you saying? What are your thoughts on the look of these guitars? What are you thinking?
I mean, the telly looks wrong, doesn't it?
It doesn't quite look right, does it? I mean, it's because it's mini humbuckers as well, so it's not a humbucker telly. It's not your standard single coil telly.
The pickups look all right, but yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah, they're a bit fancy, aren't they?
And I'm sure this is going to be controversial, and I can't remember whether I've aired this take on the podcast or not before, but matching headstocks are fucking stupid. Headstock should be wood coloured, not blue or gold or black. It should be wood coloured.
Hey, they can be black. I've got black headstocks and they look fine.
Yeah, on an Ibanez, it's fine. On a Fender, it's not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Fender.
Fender one, yeah.
Gibson.
Fender one should be natural.
Yeah, on a Gibson, you can have your black with the Gibson logo. On an Ibanez, you can have black with the Ibanez logo. On a Fender, it should be wood with a Fender logo. I realise what I'm saying is everything should be back in the 1950s, but I can't see this sunburst jazz bass. Every article I find is just the blue one, and the blue headstock just makes me not like it at all.
Have I made this up?
The only one it's kind of suited.
No, there is. It says there's two colours of them, but none of them. They've all just showing the blue one.
Oh, it does look like a 3-tone. It's got a rosewood neck as well, so you would love it. I'm sure I can share my screen, can't I? I mean, the blue one does look good, but let me share my screen. Allow me to do you. I don't know, how do I do this? Share your screen as a button.
Yeah.
Here we go. Go live. There you go. Can you all see that?
Yes.
There we go. Have a goosey gander at this, baby.
Why is it right in the middle? No, I can't be doing with that.
Because it's like the 51. Don't. Just let it happen. Let it happen.
But the 51 was a P bass, not a jazz bass.
It was, but it's got that kind of look. I'm all about that look.
I don't mind it, apart from the fact that I hate sunburst as a colour.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like sunburst.
Vehemently hate it.
Oh, what are you all like?
It's like people go, tobacco burst is the best Les Paul. No, it's any burst
tobacco
like
burst
that.
is not
It's
the
ugly.
best Les Paul. The best finish on a Les Paul.
Your mum. No.
Wow, what a way to burn my mum. Oh, my mum would absolutely take you down. I don't mess with my mum. She'd
I'm sorry, Mrs. Budget Pedal Chap.
Hey, that's my wife. Yeah. So for me, to be honest, the pick would be the bass. So if the pick out of the lot of them is the bass, something's gone wrong in it.
Yeah, I don't mind is it a Jaguar or a Jazzmaster?
It's a Jazzmaster, I believe.
Yeah, so it's the right scale length. The only problem is it's got a Bigsby, so it'll be a pain in the ass to change the strings on, and it'll go out of tune all the time, and you have to change the bridge. And at that point, for a 1,200 quid guitar, I'd just buy something else.
Oh yeah, you're paying 1,100 quid on a guitar. You don't then want to have to be changing bits on it. That's absolutely ridiculous. It should come working from the factory, shouldn't it? So
yeah,
I think that's a hot take in and of itself, isn't it? That, but so I think we're all pretty lukewarm on these gold foils. How about gold foils in general? Because I've seen a recent trend over the past kind of 2 or 3 years where the popularity of this look, not necessarily a pickup type itself, but the look of a gold foil has been a lot more popular.
Pickup looks okay on its own, but when you put it onto a guitar, it looks weird.
Yeah, there are very few guitars that it works for, aren't there?
Which is a weird thing to say.
There's a couple
I
of
agree
Supro
with
guitars that it works for, but they've got the kind of that mesh, the gold foil mesh, with the Supro S over the top of it, like a metal etched S. That looks very good, but
Okay. I mean,
it's a very ostentatious pickup, isn't it? And it oftentimes draws too much of the attention to it than like you should be paying attention on the whole kind of form of the guitar. And I think I get that.
I think Matt kind of summed it up the best before we actually started podcasting, and he said it's like they'd done a Cabronita but didn't know. Like somebody tried to explain a Cabronita down the phone, but on a really poor signal, and he just didn't come across well enough.
yeah.
The irony.
They do just like, and like the other thing, like the thing specifically about the telly is one of the pickups has a surround and the other one doesn't. And I think anybody who does that to a guitar should be set on fire.
One with and one without. Why?
One with a surround and the other one
God.
not. And I get that the other one is mounted in a scratch plate and doesn't need a surround, but it looks so bad when you've got a surround round one and not round the other. The other, just find another way of mounting one of them, for God's sake.
Yeah. I mean, they do it when they've got the dual humbuckers. They put a surround around the pick guard mounted one, don't they?
Yeah,
pretty sure they do. So that it matches.
The dual humbuckers ones, they change the pick guard so it goes round both humbuckers.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So they can do that. They literally have those in stock.
Yeah, they have the technology.
Not take quite as much plastic out of them and make them route them for like the mini humbucker instead of a real humbucker. If they want, they have the option for that.
Indeed. So I think we're probably swinging a miss here with the gold foil something. It's not really for us. Some people really get excited by gold foil.
Some people will love them, but like
not for us.
They might look okay in a Gretsch.
Oh. In a Gretsch, like a penguin or something like that.
With all gold hardware that was supposed to have.
Or a Snow Falcon.
Things.
Supposed
to have. Yeah,
the almonds
maybe.
Or maybe.
The TV Jones, replace the TV Jones, which basically are the same size, with one of those. Maybe it would look okay, as long as you can still mount it in the same way, which I'm not sure whether you can or not.
I'm not sure.
What's going on? I'm agreeing with Matt on an unusually amount tonight.
It's the rapture. It's supposed to happen. Right. Walrus Audio. Walrus Audio have released a pedal. Kind of. It's part pedal, part Game Boy. It has got a joystick in it.
Sorry, what?
It's got a joystick. It's a pedal that's got a joystick. It's a reverb and distortion, and they call it like a shoegaze machine. And I think I've not watched any of the demo videos or listened to any of the audio samples for it, so I can't tell you for sure because I don't care. I don't think I really care about this pedal. But I assume like it's a bit like the Chaos Pad, where like certain parts of the axes are mapped to X parameter, and certain parts are like Y parameter, and then you can kind of sweep between them using this odd joystick motion. What are we thinking about this, boys?
I don't understand how you're going to be able to use it, because surely if you're playing the guitar, you're then going to have to stop to bend over to play around with the joystick. It's so counterintuitive.
Can you get a long joystick that you can control with your foot?
Maybe. I think so. The idea is the genre of music that this is aimed at are the kind of people who strum a set of open strings and then start tweaking with the pedals on the floor, isn't it?
I think shoegaze is kind of more like over that ambient-y sort of texture of long drawn out.
Is it ironic that they call it shoegaze when they don't wear shoes when they play it? Because they're all doing it in their bedrooms.
Slipper gaze. Doesn't quite have the same.
So that's why you've got
Sock
the
game.
joystick on it, because you can put it between your toes and you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you can very much do that. Yeah, I suppose you can. So it's. I mean, we've been accused of being boomers a little bit this week, and us kind of poo-pooing the pedal that does something a little bit new and a little bit different it's very much just old man shouting at cloud, isn't it? But come on.
What was it called? What's this pedal called?
It's the Walrus Melee.
Walrus.
I mean, again, Walrus is not a company that I particularly care for anyway.
Walrus Audio have done some of the best looking pedals ever made, like with some of the artwork on like the Julia and the Slow and the Iron Horse. Was it the Iron Horse Fuzz or something?
Yeah.
Like some of the artwork they do is incredible.
Oh yeah, they've got some fantastic artwork, haven't they? They've also got a pedal that is powered by a joystick. So, I mean, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
I just like.
It's not a pedal I can see Matt lining up to get.
Like, I'm just looking at a picture of it, and I'm like,
he's trying to convince himself here, isn't it?
Genuinely, I've seen that picture before, and I've just assumed it's one of those cheap knockoff freaking amp in a box things that's got like a 1 watt power amp, and that was a speaker. I've never gotten on that it's an actual pedal that like what are you like? Is that so? Are you supposed to strum your strings, put the guitar down, type into your DAW whatever you want to do, and then wiggle around? Like, do you play Call of Duty with this?
I mean, you might be able to use it as a primitive like NES controller.
Well, yeah, I suppose it probably won't do Call of Duty, but like Pong maybe.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You'd be able to do Pong with it.
Yeah, I'm sure people are going to call me a boomer, but
yeah,
Yay.
I think this week is very much a boomer week, isn't it? We've poo-pooed any drastic changes to the Telecaster and the Jazzmaster, and now
It's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
As a roundup, because we've got a couple of minutes before the podcast ends. Let's have a chat about other pedals that have innovated using innovative and different ways to express.
So you've got the cum dumpster pedal.
We've got the officially titled. I think the original one was the mini bar, but they've got the Josh Castle signature cum dumpster, which your warranty gets voided if you don't jizz into it.
You could say like the game changer Xenon tube in the pedal is kind of different.
Yeah,
it
but
does
I mean,
change the signal, but
the way that you manipulate the pedal is knobs and switches, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
But that isn't something different. I know Anna Sound did the little spinner thing. They had like a tremolo, which had got like a spinner. It almost looked like a little fidget spinner on a pedal. And you flick...
The Bigsby pedal.
Yeah, the Game Changer Bigsby.
Yeah, and there was the piano one as well. Wasn't there one that was like a piano?
Yeah, it was like a sustain pedal.
Yeah, and it was supposed to do the sustain. And then there was that one that you've got 2 prongs and you stick fruit on it.
The floor revolt. Okay, I need to talk about this one actually, because we did a little bit of wrong news about this. We reported, we looked at a picture of it and says, "Oh, we know how that fucking works." Apparently not. So
why? What did we do?
So we assumed that it was a similar vein to the mini bar, where the 2 points work as a conductor. But it's not. It actually uses. Do you know how, like the weird shitty science experiment that you used to see on Facebook, where you plug 2 like crocodile clips into a piece of fruit and it creates a tiny little charge, creates a little voltage.
Yeah.
It basically works on that system. So I am told, this is like third-hand information now. This is from the Wampler podcast, Chasing Toad. So they've read it, and now I've reported it from them rather than reading the article myself. But that's how it works. So apparently the 2 prongs attached to a piece of fruit to get the electric charge from it, and the pedal itself.
Yeah, that does make sense because they're made of two different metals, which they would need to be. So they then create a voltage that changes something in the pedal, do they?
No, it powers the pedal. So, yeah.
It powers the pedal?
It powers the pedal.
You're not getting 9 volts from that.
No, you're not getting 9 volts at all. But it's a bit like one of those ones where it works kind of passively to a certain point. But you can only just about get unity volume with it because it hasn't got a vast amount of power, but it is powered by the acidity of the thing that you're putting into it. So you can do fruit. That's all good.
Yeah. So what we're saying is you can't poo on it.
Yeah, basically, this is a roundabout way of me saying our theories of you taking a dump onto it are completely unfounded.
Okay, so you need a so the more acidic the fruit, the more power you get out of it. So you want lemons or something, really.
Yeah, you would have thought so, yeah. I mean, you might be able to dunk the electrodes into a small beaker of piss. I'm sure that's got acidity.
Well, actually, because piss has got a lot of sodium in it, so it's going to be a very good conductor.
Well, there you go. Dr. Science over here. We're yeah, so that's how the floor revolt works, apparently. I don't know. Fret Talk podcast group members, please, if we are getting this wildly incorrect, just put a message in the group and correct us. I imagine we're probably going to have a few this week calling us boomers. So just while you're doing that, just have a little bit of a research on the Metaverse floor revolt and just check that we're doing it right. This is the end of the podcast, however. We've got some shout-outs to our listeners. Whoever made it this far, you are legends. We've got a bunch of people who pay us to do this as well. Motherfucker. I did that into the microphone like a boss. I'm tired of it now. I'm on, what's this, like 21 time markers. It's too much.
And they're all because of people coughing.
Absolutely. So we've got a bunch of people who pay us to do this, and you are awesome people. You are as little as $2 a month. You yourself out there, Mr. Listener or Mrs. Listener, you can be one of these people. Go to patreon.com/FretTalk. I think it's just Fret Talk. It's not Fret Talk podcast. Patreon.com/Fret Talk, and you can find out more details. The people who are part of our Patreon group are as follows. We have got Mr. Andrew Bimpson of The Rising of the Lights. We've got Mr. Doug Christ of 37 Effects, Masters of the Cinematic Universe, and the Just Surprise Me podcast. We've got Mr. Hugh G. Rection. We've got Mr. Ben Fletcher of Fletcher Pickups. We've got Mr. Brian Gower of the Toad and Jerks podcast and the Second Butter podcast. And we have got Mr. Ross Philpotts. Booyah. That is our Patreon lot. Just have a look. Go to patreon.com/FretTalk and just have a look. See if you want to be one of those people. It's a cool.
And you get bonus content like this coming up.
Yeah, you do. We're gonna solve the problem, aren't we? We're gonna solve the problem of how to fix Marshall amps. Not like a step guide on how to fix a Marshall amp, but the company themselves. Yeah, so if you want to catch me online, you go Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.com/BudgetPedalChap.
YouTube is the talk is the talk. I fucked it.
You did.
Is the home to the No Talk All Tone series.
Indeed it is. I was singing Jolene earlier, and I sung the line, she's got eyes of skin.
Eyes of skin?
Eyes of skin. And hair of emerald green. So it happens to the best of us, Josh.
Cool.
Yeah, Jolene suddenly took a really dark turn.
She's this evil kind of D&D witch.
Yeah. She's a succubus. So, yeah.
And that's Sharon Stone.
So, yes, as Josh said, YouTube is the home to the No Talk or Turn series, which is featuring something this week. We've got a fuzz off. We've got the Rusty Fuzz versus the Kuvave or the Kuvave fuzz, and both of which Kuveve, both of which are pretty well respected budget fuzzes, and they both do that kind of vintage fuzz thing. I think I know which one's going to win. I know which one I want to win, but is it going to turn out that way? We will find out. Matt, where can we find you?
At heel_MattQ on Twitter and Twinstagram.
Yeah, we can. And Josh. How about yourself?
You can find me at the Corona Mortis and at Josh Castle TCM on YouTube.
Yeah, we can. And that's us for this week. So from myself, Mr. Budget Pedal Chap, from Mr. Matt Quine, say bye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
Way from Mr. Oh my gosh, it's Josh. It will be a tatty bye and good night for this week.
Bye.
Dad is talking about how his daughters and his sons got their names to a friend of his. And he calls in his first child and goes, "This is Rose." Rose got her name because when we had her in the hospital, a rose petal fell off the flowers and landed on her head. So we decided to call her Rose. Then he calls in the next born child. So Lily comes in and he goes, named her Lily because when we walked out the hospital, there was a lily petal that landed on her head and we called her Lily. And then so he calls his son through and his son's dribbling and grunting as he walks in and goes, "This is my son Brick."
Fuck's sake. I've heard that before and it's shit, mate.